my role in my community is a storyteller. I capture stories. I was born and raised in Watsonville. And being raised in Watsonville, I was surrounded by a lot of community. I think the most vivid memories I have was when I was a niña and I would go with my parents to the fields. Las manzanas, las fresas, las moras, after school, during summer breaks. And I always heard the campesinos talking. Siempre estaban hablando. They were talking to each other, or they were reminiscing about something or someone in their native lands. They also carried radios, and through these radios, they were all in tune to a different sound, a different tune of music. And I think through that, for me, I realized how beautiful and how important it was to preserve our stories. My parents, my dad till this day, 80-year-old man, cosecha la fruta de los árboles. And he's a proud campesino. And I am a proud daughter of campesino parents. But I've realized that my harvest comes differently, that I am too also a campesina. Only that what I'm harvesting are the stories of my community, so it looks different. By no means can I take credit for the work and labor that our campesinos do day in and day out, and all the other manual labor that happens in small towns like Watsonville. But I could talk about it, and I could share those stories, and I could embody those stories because I've been in close proximity to them. I've been very fortunate to perform at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. I've been very fortunate to perform in UNAM in Mexico City. I've been very fortunate to perform next to the tracks as the train passes by and migrantes jump on it. And I say that with a lot in my heart. And I've been fortunate enough to perform in Las Huertas because I am Watsonville. And I try to carry that wherever I go. Last piece that I wrote, Pedacitos, I dedicated to my mother, a mi madre. And while I was writing it, and as I continue to perform it or embody it, I also have to recognize that I wrote it for the mother inside of me. This big or grown up, Cristal is taking care of little Cristal. And I wrote that book so I could find little Cristal, the little girl that couldn't find herself when she was little, that she couldn't see herself. So I think I'm also honoring my motherhood because I have two beautiful girls, two children. And that's a struggle in itself to be an artist and to be a mother, because so much you give constantly, so much in both those disciplines. So I think I'm going to continue to honor that voice, that femininity voice, that strong, that guerrera within me and within the other women in my life. So I know you'll hear that voice in those books to come. This is Carlitos, and this is a little puppet that I made for a puppet show during COVID. And Carlitos speaks only a little bit of English. And Carlitos comes into my class and he talks to my kids and he sings the AB cheese. And then we learn through Carlitos. I wouldn't be able to activate Carlitos without my artistic background. Last year, they call me frijolito in class. And I got sad and I started crying because I say, I'm not a frijolito. I am Carlitos. And all the kids were laughing, ha ha ha, frijolito. So I went to go talk to my teacher, and my teacher said that frijolitos are pretty magical. So I'm a proud frijolito. And one day, my stories will change the world and the way you see me and the people like me. la gente como yo. I think what Carlitos is trying to say is that our kids feel everything. And as a teacher, I become sometimes the first person to witness what they're going through. And Carlitos was called the frijolito and made fun of at school because of the way he looked and the way he talked. And some of my students, or some of the students in school, wonder if they're going to go home and find their parents. And I can't promise them that. I can't say they're going to be home. And I think that's what we're talking about, like the political climate that we're in. But I know that in my class, I could prepare them enough to capture the stories of who they are, to be proud of being a frijolito, because I'm a frijolito too. I remind them that. My act of being in the classroom and looking like them is a reminder that I too am resisting and surviving this political climate. I'm not giving up with them, right? I think through my art, I hope to guide the next generation of artistas. I didn't have the proximity to the arts when I was young, so I want to make sure at the very least I get to share what I know about my craft, about what I've learned as an artist with younger generations. Like everything and anything you do, make sure you put an exclamation mark to it. We have to do it because sometimes we only get one chance, right? And keep yourself grounded. I always say that. Keep one hand down touching the earth so you remember where you come from, and then you keep one high reaching towards the infinite, because that's our potential. We have infinite potential as human beings, as creative beings, and maybe even more so because we work so long with so little. So let's make some beautiful art happen, y'all.